suit so clean. He's running this ring like a wrestling machine. From gold-plated deals to jaw-dropping schemes, he's the mastermind of your wildest dreams. Stand up, take no, bow down if you can. It's the Brilliant Show with the Brilliant One. He's the man.
Welcome into the Brilliant Show. I am the Brilliant One, and we've got a special guest. We got Jesse the Dragonheart. He's going to be coming on in just a minute, but before he gets there, remember to go check out Mark Out Moments on YouTube and listen to Talking Wrestling with Palmwater Dave and Amy. You don't want to miss that show. It's great. Dave, one of the top refs in the independent wrestling scene, so don't miss it. Man, I'm just going to say this. We're going to jump in. We got a guest coming up, Jesse the Dragonheart. I had to go to this place called OWA yesterday. It's a water park, amusement park kind of deal. And it was 100 degrees, or it felt like it anyway. And I had to pay $70 to get into this place. And I didn't ride a ride, didn't get in the water. I was taking a family member. What's up, Stephen Dixon? How are you tonight? $70 to walk around this place, sweating my balls off. It was horrible. But we're going to get to our guest, Jesse the Dragonheart, here in 1 second. One more thing before we get into it. Make sure you go to the Brilliant Show on Brainbuster Tees and get you some T-shirts and some merchandise. And we're also going to be giving away 2 T-shirts for anybody that's subscribed to our Facebook, which is 99 cents a month. If you're subscribed each and every month, we're going to give away free merchandise. And this month, we're going to give away two things. So there's 2 winners that are subscribed to the Brilliant Show right here on Facebook and YouTube. Good, my friend. I guess I won't be going there. Dog, please don't. I'm telling you, that OWA place was too hot. Like, man, it was rough. It was rough, and it cost too much. Let's welcome in our special guest, Jesse the Dragonheart. What's going on, Jesse?
Hey, man. I'm doing good today. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good other than sweating my balls off yesterday at that OWA water park.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds like a nightmare. Gosh, burning up in there.
Oh, it was absolutely terrible. What's up, Willie Buck? What's going on, my man? I know you've been waiting for this interview tonight. Well, here it is. Jesse, I want to jump into something, man, because me and you met at the Mississippi Rumble, right? That's the first time
we did.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you my thoughts on you before I met you, okay?
By all means.
Jesse the Dragonheart.
Hey, Willie Buck, what's up?
So, I hate this. Bye, St. Pat. We'll see you later, St. Pat.
Hey, man, see you later, dude. I hate you, too.
Yeah, well, he retired, and he's still hating him.
Oh, yeah, so who really cares about him?
Yeah, so when I first saw Jesse the Dragonheart pop up on my Facebook, I'm sitting here looking at this kid, and I'm just thinking, what the hell is this? I didn't get Jesse the Dragonheart. I really didn't, okay? But I had been out of wrestling for a while. Like, I'd been gone for like 8 or 9 months. You popped up within that area. I mean, you may have been there before I left. I don't know. But it was like I kept seeing stuff about you on Facebook. I just kept scrolling. I didn't pay attention to it. And then I was like, I just saying, no. And then I finally said, all right, let me just listen to this kid because he just keeps popping up on my damn Facebook page. So let me listen. So I listened to you. And that's when I got the Dragonheart kind of deal. Okay. And
okay.
I'm like, all right, I like this. Then I meet you at the Rumble. I saw your match at the Rumble. And I'm like, okay, this kid's got potential. Now I'm a full-fledged bandwagoner of the Jesse the Dragonheart Club.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
So I want to know, we already saw you sing, Pet. Hold on, here we go. Before we get into that, Sam, Humpty Dumpty here, currently eating. All right, thank you, Sam, for dropping the share and everything. Jesse, there's Angel Louder back, another great supporter of the Brilliant Show.
Hey there, what's up, man?
Saw Jesse at the Mississippi Rumble, and the kid was solid in the ring. Yes, he was very solid, a lot of potential there. That's really
thank you, sir. Thank you.
I think it's one of those things where you got to see things in person. I know you love Jesse Angel. You love the Brilliant One too, though, right? Hit that like button on this video too. So I want to dive into it right off the
Yeah,
bat.
sure. Let's get into it.
Let's get into this deal right here. Tell me how Jesse the Dragonheart came to be. We'll get into the wrestling part of it, but just tell me how you formed this identity of Jesse the Dragonheart.
Sure thing, Yeah, let me get into it. It's a bit of a long story, but I can tell the tale. It's
Got some time.
basically like this. I started out, like a fresh graduated high school. I got a job someplace I still work part-time at. It's called an animal hospital. I'm kind of a veterinary assistant. And, I was just going through life. I was just a kid out of high school. COVID-19 hit, not a lot going on, and I'm just working an everyday job for 2 years straight. And the grind, it kind of gets me down. But like, I've always been a kid where I have a very big imagination. I grew up playing video games, Dungeons and Dragons, that sort of deal. Grew up loving the Lord of the Rings movies, fantasy and everything. And I also really loved wrestling. I grew up being very naturally athletic. And I was just going through a hard time in life. It was tough. Just graduated high school, worldwide pandemic going on. The world has a way of breaking you down once you really become an adult and start really doing adult things. But I never lost that kid within me. And I was thinking, you know what? Maybe I'll give it a try. Maybe I'm going to try and give this pro wrestling thing a try. Just a good old, and I can say that I did it if I sucked at it. And if people thought I was good, maybe there's a career path to go down there. And so I took a course, I saved up my money, went to Flatbacks training school run by Tyler Breeze and Sean Spears because I wanted to get really good, reputable training and just see how it worked out because it's a course that you pay for. And if I didn't do good, at least I can say I gave it a shot. And that's where I started really cultivating the Dragonheart character, where I was just like, I looked down inside myself. And the thing with wrestling characters is they need to be real. They need to be you. Yes, it's a persona. Yes, it's like you times 10, but at the core it needs to be you and it needs to be real. And I always thought that, I'm a short guy. I'm 5'5". I'm not very big. That's just how it is. And people might look at me, they think I'm weird. They see the dreads, they see kind of my whole personality and everything. People might not think much of me when they see me, but I always have heart. Everything I do, I never give up. I always give it my best. I may not be the biggest, I may not be the strongest, but you better believe that I will always give it my best, and I will do my best to be better than anyone. No matter what anyone else says, I'm going to give it my all. And then, I always love D&D, love magic and everything. I grew up loving Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. And I just thought, you know what? Dragonheart, Jesse Dragonheart. That's really catchy. That's really kind of the essence of who I want to be. And let's see if I can mold that character into something. Went to Flatbacks, helped iron out the character and everything. And eventually, I think I got it down and to what I wanted my wrestling persona to be. Because at the heart, Jesse Dragonheart is who I am. I'm loud, I'm boisterous, I'm a bit crazy, I'm a bit weird, might raise some eyebrows, but hey man, this is me and I'm proud to be me. And that's what Jesse the Dragonheart is all about. At least like as a base summary of how the character came to be.
Man, that is awesome. Like, let me just say this though. You do stand out. That's a key in wrestling. A lot of people do not stand out. They're cookie cutters. They got to be badasses. They got to all have the same gear. They all got to look the same and act the same. You stand out in a different way. That's how you make a name in professional wrestling is you stand out. You stand out from others. You act different. And that's what I wanted to compliment you on that you do very well as you stand out. Chris Ricard, and we're counting to build on that, continuing to build on that character, as Ricard says.
That's exactly right. We're always working on it.
Let me ask you this. What's your little friend's name? Your little dragon friend?
Oh, my friend, that is Leopold. He's Leopold the Dragon, He made his debut actually when I was training at Flatbacks.
Okay. Now, where's Flatbacks at? Is it Tampa, down towards Tampa or whatever?
It's in Orlando, Florida.
Orlando.
It's Orlando. Yes. It's technically in Apopka, but it's right in Orlando. That's where the school is at.
All right, so you do get the crowd involved, that's for sure. That's one of the things I like. You know, a lot of people don't even pay attention to the crowd. They're too worried about
It's
what move
true.
they're doing next. You can't
Listen,
worry about what move you're doing.
yeah, yeah. The thing about professional wrestling is you have to get the crowd involved because without the crowd, we're nothing. We're just a bunch of guys yelling at each other and beating on each other in front of nobody. The crowd is here. They paid to see a fight. They paid to see good pro wrestling. They paid to see entertainment. And I always do my best to involve the crowd and make them feel like, I want to put
They're
on a
part of
show
it.
for them, just like the Brilliant Show right here.
There you go, Jesse. That's a good plug. That's a good plug. I knew I liked you for a
Of
reason.
course, man.
Yeah, that is the key, though. Like the fans want to feel involved. They want to feel a part of the show, and when you make them feel that, they remember that more than they remember what move you pulled off. It's not about the move. It's
And
about
that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's
yeah.
all about is making memories.
It definitely is. And Angel Louderback's here. If anybody's got any questions, you can pop them out here because I got a few. Because you brought up something that I grew up in. Now when I talk about growing up in it, I'm talking about like the 80s and the 90s when it was really popular. Was
Mm-hmm.
Dungeons and Dragons, and we're gonna get to that in just a second. But here's your boy, Ray Fury, man.
Yeah, Ray Fury. That's my boy right there. That's my main man. I love Ray Fury. He's
What's
awesome, man.
what's up, Steven? He says hey to you too, Jesse. Speaking of Ray, Dragon is good shit. Hell of a good talent. Yes, he is very good talent. Now I just told my
Thank you,
story on him,
Sal.
but Ray, man, he's one of the best talents around. One of the good minds to listen to. And I've been fortunate enough to be a part of some of the stuff with him in my little short time in the business, and I enjoyed it. And just glad that I could sit under his learning tree, listen to him, and get to talk. And yeah, we know you're putting the stamp on it when you was on the show. Ray that's what he talked about. Was you, Jesse? He talked about you, and I see it. You are a rising star. You got a lot of potential. You got a lot of things coming for you. And
Thank you, man. Thank you.
to be under the tutelage of Ray, that's another good thing because
It's
Ray's
true,
seen a lot.
like I started training with Ray Fury and he's really showed me a lot. He's helped really bring out more of what I could be and help me realize my potential in the ring. Ever since I started training with Ray Fury, I felt myself getting sharper, better, and just improving overall in the ring. He's my man. Like I put my stamp on Ray Fury, even though that's not really worth as much, but he's my man, dude. Like Ray Fury, he's that dude.
DIY Mississippi Film Works. Jesse stole the show at both Magnolia events I went to, and we're going to get into Magnolia here. But like I said, when I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, Dungeons and Dragons was a popular thing. Now, I never really got into it. I was more like playing Mortal Kombat and Mario Brothers and stuff like that on the
Hey, Mortal,
Nintendo.
Mortal Kombat's a pretty cool game. I take some inspiration from Liu Kang,
Yeah,
if you
hey,
know the
there you
character.
go. It is the dragon. Yes. But
Exactly.
explain to the listeners and people that are watching live right now that about Dungeons and Dragons, kind of, and the allure of it, and what kind of drew you to it.
Dungeons and Dragons, it's a very nerdy game. It's a tabletop role playing game. I'll be the first to admit, it's a nerdy thing to do. It's a pretty geeky thing to do. It's become a lot more mainstream these days, I feel like. It's just a fun game. The appeal is just losing yourself in a fantasy world and hanging out, making funny voices with your friends, and just kind of goofing off and messing around and just having a great time. You can really get immersed and tell some very interesting stories, and it's just having fun with friends in another way. It's a really awesome time.
Sing Pet's still sticking around. Okay. He said he was gone a minute ago, didn't he?
Yeah, there's some
Haters
people out
always
there that
stick
just,
around.
yeah.
Haters always stick around. Haters are always watching. That's your most
You
viewed
know,
people is your haters. Turner played. Oh my God. All right. I want to get to Dungeons and Dragons on my side here and just say it was fun to play, especially drinking during. Yeah, of course, Stephen Dixon. I bet you did enjoy it. All right, so like I remember some of my friends playing it, and I think I played a few times. I was probably a young kid, 8, 9, 10 years old when we started playing it, but I never really got so far into it. And I had several that did get into it, and then they bring Stranger Things into the world, and all of a sudden, we're back to Dungeons and Dragons being popular again because of a TV show.
Yeah, that is true. I recently did watch Stranger Things. Great show. It was pretty cool that they referenced Dungeons and Dragons.
But now, did you ever do was it LARPing? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Not really. Although I did end up going to Ren fairs. I always grew up going up to Renaissance fairs because my mother is a belly dancer. She runs a belly dancing troupe called the Gypsy Chicks. Yeah. What's up?
I was talking. Get out of here! Your mom was a belly dancer. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. She was. She's an entertainer. She still is actually, and she performed at Renaissance fairs. That also kind of inspired my Jesse Dragonheart character because I grew up watching a bunch of guys talking all fancifully like they were in a medieval world, and yeah. So no, I did do it on a level, but it's not something I really went out there and did a lot. Honestly, I spent a lot of my time on the trampoline actually growing up doing wrestling moves with my dad. We would run full matches together. I actually was doing Hurricane Ranas and tilt-a-whirls, DDTs, and head scissors when I was a kid, like 6 and 7 years old. So, like, it's always been like a mix, of like that, like, fun, like, entertainment character side of me, and then also that wrestling athletic side of me that likes to, get down in the dirt and get ready to get rolling.
Heck yeah, man. That's fun. Don't forget, if you have not liked this video, hit the like, show some love for Jesse the Dragonheart. All right. So, what was your first memory of wrestling? Like, who was the first person you was like, oh man, this is awesome. I love it.
It's gotta be Rey Mysterio, man. When I grew up, he was the first one my dad showed me, a luchador. I was able to relate to him because of his stature. I'm a short guy. Rey Mysterio is a pretty short guy too. Just seeing his mask, his colorful attire, he stood out. He did crazy moves. He did things that I didn't think were possible. And when I looked up at him and I saw him win the world title at WrestleMania against Kurt Angle and Randy Orton, I saw that and I was like, if somebody like that can do all those great things and then achieve an achievement like becoming world heavyweight champion, then man, why can't I do it? I believe in myself. I feel like I could do something like that. And it gave me the inspiration it helped me get through my middle school years, and it gave me like fuel to keep going, just to keep going on, keep fighting, and keep on hoping for one day that I might be able to reach my dreams, whatever those dreams may have been.
Well, let me ask you this too, like with Rey Mysterio, it takes a special skill set for a person like Rey Mysterio because they're so small. And when they get put in David versus Goliath type matches, like, he could go in there and take on Big Show. He made it believable. Did you like go back and watch some of his earlier stuff from like when he was in Mexico, ECW kind of deal and stuff like that? Did you go back and watch any of those yet, or have you just been focused?
Yes, I have watched a few of his matches when he was like Rey Mysterio Jr. I've even seen some matches where he's wrestled unmasked, when he was working with the Filthy Animals. I kind of really liked that meaner side of Rey Mysterio. That was pretty fun. The oldest stuff I've watched is probably around WCW, like when he was in the Cruiserweight division wrestling Eddie Guerrero, obviously the very popular Halloween Havoc match. That's probably the oldest work I've seen from him.
Man, him and Eddie Guerrero at Halloween Havoc had to be one of the best matches. And it made so much sense. They were great storytellers. They knew what they were doing. And, man, that was one of the best matches. Shannon Henderson, this guy can talk. Really seems like he's full of charisma. He's got more charisma than Shannon. I can tell you that right now. The kid is on fire, and he's going to be a top star in the business sooner or later.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
ECW Rey Mysterio was unreal. Yeah, he was. I remember watching Rey Mysterio when I was like 11 or 12, and it was him and Psychosis at the Bingo Hall in Philadelphia having a match, and it was on syndication, and they tore the house down, man. They tore the house down. So with Rey Mysterio being one of your influences in it, was there any others that really just caught your eyes that you're like,
Yes.
I want to go?
So Rey Mysterio is kind of the guy that got me into wrestling. He was the guy I watched as a little kid, and I was like, wow, look at this stuff. This is cool. I wasn't really thinking about the story. I was just very basic, I was a child when I was watching that stuff. And it brought me into wrestling, kind of introduced it to me. But when I was really actively wrestling, and or not wrestling, but watching wrestling, watching and consuming the product, and more kind of critically thinking as I got up into my teenage years, I watched a lot of CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, and those guys really, really inspired me. I'm actually from Chicago, so growing up watching CM Punk, it was an easy way for me to relate to him. Like, hey, he's from Chicago, I'm from Chicago. That's pretty cool. Just seeing his work, seeing him work as the straight edge society, the straight edge savior, I absolutely loved that. And he was presented as a bad guy, but to me, and my personal experience, I saw him as a good guy. I always cheered for him when he was straight edge society, and just basically seeing kind of that alternative, that guy who stood out. Again, that whole standing out, not being part of the norm, not being the cookie cutter blend. I was like, yeah, that guy, I really am entertained by him. That whole storyline he ran where he was going to take the title and leave, WWE, that famous match against John Cena at Money in the Bank 2011, that's one of my favorite matches of all time. The roar of the crowd, just the absolute insanity of that storyline, of that match, that's one of my favorite matches of all time. And then going to Daniel Bryan, that was just inspiration for me, seeing this underdog, this guy who's worked so hard, traveled the world, been to Japan, been everywhere, he doesn't look like, again, he doesn't look like the type of guy that you would think, yeah, this is going to be a top star in pro wrestling. He doesn't really fit that mold, but just seeing the raw talent he had, the relatability, of feeling like the world's working against you, of being kept down, and just looking up at that and smacking that away and being like, nah, man, I'm going to take this, that stuff it just stood out to me. And it just resonated with me on a very deep level that a lot of no other media can, because it's real. That feeling that wrestling evokes out of you is very real. Like when I see a wrestler like Daniel Bryan, and I see I can relate to him, I can relate to his struggles, and I can really feel that, and then able to see the storylines that they told, particularly in WWE, but also the stuff he's doing in AEW as Bryan Danielson, be able to relate and feel those feelings that the show is portraying, is just, nothing else can do that. Nothing else can make me feel the way I felt when I saw Daniel Bryan win the World Heavyweight Championship, or the Undisputed. It was both titles,
Yeah.
They call it something new every 5 years, but they won the main title at WrestleMania. Nothing beats that feeling, of being yes, he did it, So 100%. And I look to his work, and I look to his matches. I look to his promos specifically. I look at a lot of people's promos, and I draw lots of inspiration, the intensity, the passion, and the authenticity. Because if you don't believe what you're saying, the people aren't going to believe what you're saying.
Exactly. And if you don't believe what you're saying, you're right. The people are not. Brian Baudelaire. When are we going to get Brian versus Jesse?
Brian versus Jesse. Well, we did have that 6-man, but we only mixed it up a little bit. But Brian Baudelaire, I am the MCW champion. I've actually got the belt right here, just like Chris Ricard said, at Magnolia Championship Wrestling. We usually hit Pascagoula, Mississippi, but we are growing and we are rising, and we're going to be one of the best territories in the state of Mississippi. Let me tell you that right now. So, Brian, you can find me at MCW. You suck wood. Gotta agree with Sue on that one.
I can't disagree with that, because the sugar hurt somebody. We'll get that glaze off your mouth, my guy. Ooh, I don't know,
bro. They're all
MCW. You wish I would give you the rub, little weak coat pushing now. Oh my gosh, Shug, you tearing them up down here. We do. Trevor, I believe he's probably going to be back in Biloxi pretty soon.
Oh yes, I
August
wrestle with
1st.
combat. Yes, I wrestle with Combat Sport Pro Wrestling, and a lot of the times we hit a place called the Sanctuary in Biloxi, Mississippi. I am more than positive we are going to be at a show there again sometime in the near future. So you can see the Dragonheart fly there, without
Well,
a doubt.
you can without a doubt see the brilliant one there, August the 1st, the Sanctuary in Biloxi. I will be there. Let's check it out
Excellent.
here. Was Road Dogg from the New Age Outlaws your inspiration on your dreads? Yeah, that is a good question.
That is a good question. Honestly, I just got to say no, but I do love the Road Dogg, Jesse James. The thing with my dreads is that, honestly, dude, they're natural. My dad is from the Dominican Republic. I am half white, half Dominican, and my hair, this is just how it naturally got curling up. I used to actually pick it out into an afro, you know, back in high school, but I just started letting it dread out. So like these dreads, they're my own.
Now, how long have you said you had the dreads?
About 4 years now.
Wow.
And also, thank you, Moondog. I remember sharing a couple locker rooms with Moondog. Moondog was one of the first wrestlers who ever gave me a shot. I wrestled like I think one of my first ever matches was at one of his shows in Bay Minette, Alabama.
Oh, the old Moondog, good guy. Enjoyed talking to him. I've actually, he put his hands on me one night by flipping me over the ropes when I was in a match. I think it was the Mountain Man Classic in 2023. I was trying to tell the ref that he was cheating, and he just grabs the ropes and swings me over the top. Luckily, my guy was there and didn't let him get his hands, but he tried to get that big old bone on me. I didn't like that. But
yeah, things can get pretty wild when you're in the ring, man, especially with someone like that.
Jesse Dragon.
Jesse Dragon. You know, I'm sure there are some pictures of me if you add my mom on Facebook. She used to post them with me as a kid all the time. So there's definitely some out there of me with an afro. But I gotta say, I like the dreads a lot more. Again, I think it makes me stand out. Even if people are looking like, who is this guy? It's like, hey, they're looking at me and they're not looking at the guy next to me. So who's really winning?
Exactly. Well, either way, you went fro, you went dreads, you're standing out either way.
Exactly.
But I do like the whole deal. Now, how did you come up with the little dragon, the character, the little what did you say?
Leopold?
Leopold.
Leopold. His name's Leopold. Leopold. I just kind of saw him one day down in Orlando, Florida, when I was training at Flatbacks, and I felt a connection with him. You know, he's my guy. Hey, what's up, Timothy Davis? Good to see you tonight.
Yeah,
And
Timothy, it's about time you got back.
What's up?
I said it's about time Timothy Davis got back. I ain't seen him in a few shows.
So yeah, Leopold, he's just a good guy, you know. I actually have him, but I would have to get up to get him. He doesn't really like to move very often.
Oh, well, you know what? I got to plug something anyway. Go get Leopold. So we'll
all right here.
So he's gonna go get Leopold. Make sure you go check out Brainbuster Tees. Go to brainbustertees.com. The Breeding Show's on the front page. Click on it. You got a whole list of things. We got new merchandise. We got the Brilliant Show Off the Rails t-shirt. Go check it out. Help support the podcast. We're going to keep bringing you good interviews when you help support the podcast. And you can also support the podcast by checking out us on Facebook and hitting the subscribe button under Brandon Turner. Just hit that subscribe button. It's 99 cents a month. You have a chance twice a month to win free merchandise. That's what we're going to start going with. We're going to start giving away two pieces of merchandise. Let me get that out. I'm tongue-tied. 2 pieces of merchandise each month right here on The Breeding Show. And I believe Jesse is ready to come back in. Let's see here. All right, Jesse, we got Leopold.
Yeah, here we go. We've got Leopold right here. I was training in Orlando, Florida, and Tyler Breeze and Sean Spears, they were just saying I needed to show more personality in the ring. Yeah, that's right. Here's Leopold. He's just as much of a star as the Dragonheart. He made his debut in the ring, actually, 2 nights ago against Amp the Champ. He gave me some pointers, helped me figure out what I needed to do to get the W, even though it didn't work out. Things started to go downhill once I didn't have Leopold in my hands. So, he's the great guy. He's the best. I love him.
Oh,
And,
Jay, this dude
he's.
he does have a bright future, Jay. And
Thank
Leopold,
you, Jay.
and Leopold there. You cut a promo the other day talking about Amp the Champ, and it was actually great. I'll see you Saturday, Brandon. But what happens if it rains while we're there at AWF? Well, if it rains, I'm still gonna be tearing the house down. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna still tear the house down Saturday. What are you talking about? The Brilliant Show is gonna be live from the Mobile Fairgrounds this Saturday night for AWF. We're gonna have some interviews in the ring before the show starts, and we're gonna kick it off and have some fun with it. Rain or shine, we have tents. So there you go. There's your question. Shannon Henderson just answered it. We're gonna have tents, so it don't matter. Rain or shine, sleet or snow. Which I hope it don't snow in the middle of summer. There'll be something wrong with that, but But yeah, so Leopold here. Yeah, look at it. You had him in a promo with Amp, I believe it was, right?
Yes, that's right.
Was in the woods. That was a great promo. I enjoyed listening to that promo and watching it. And I love how you have your little jingle at the end. Can you give me a little jingle now? Like where you go.
Jingle? Jesse. You mean like my catchphrase?
Yeah, the end. Yeah, the end. The catchphrase end. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. My fists were ablaze, and my soul's the spark. I'm Jesse, the Dragonheart.
There you go. There you go. I love it.
That's it. And yes, I'm looking forward to seeing CM Punk versus John Cena again. Completely different circumstances, but I can't wait to see the outcome of what's going to happen there.
Well, let me ask you this: with CM Punk versus John Cena coming up, and I'm missing some stuff here. I'm trying to go back a little bit. With CM Punk taking on John Cena, do you think Punk beats him, or do you think it's going to go to Cody at the end? Do you think Cody's going to get it back at SummerSlam?
I don't know, man. Cody Rhodes, he's got to get his get back, but he kind of got that at the tag match when him and Jey Uso versus John Cena and Logan Paul. I'm not really sure. Hey, thank you, Jamie Johnson. I'm always happy to see you. Magnolia Championship Wrestling, that's the place to be in Mississippi, let me tell you what. But, yeah, I don't know who's going to take the title off of Cena. If being like a fan, purely from a fan standpoint, I'd love to see Punk get the title. But honestly, I don't see with stretch Jesse. Oh, I see. It's Jay Smiles. Hey, man, if you want to try and stretch the dragon, you're more than welcome. But let me tell you what, it's going to be one tough task to do. Isn't that right, Leopold? Yeah, that's right.
Let me just say this, Jesse, before you finish. Jay Smiles ain't stretching nobody. How's he going to stretch somebody? He's shorter than you. He's like this tall. He's a 4-year-old. What are you talking about?
Hey, man, Jason's kind of cool. I roomed with him one time. He's a pretty cool guy. But, if he wants to try and stretch the dragon, he can try. He can try.
His new nickname is Giggles. Go watch his episode. The whole time he was on here, he giggled like a little girl.
Oh, well, hey, man, sometimes you just got to be jolly. You just got to let it all out.
He was a little too jolly, but yeah. But anyway, continue on and finish up on that one.
But yeah, I think Cena's probably going to keep the title, bring it home. Like Barry Gabby would stretch Lee. All right, bro. Nah, no way. Is that right, Leopold? I don't think so. But yeah, I think Cena's going to keep the title. But honestly, everyone's talking about Cena's kind of like the turn he's done. All I'm seeing is the guy who I've seen be himself for the past few years. I kind of am not surprised by how John Cena's been acting as of late. I think he's just kind of shown who he really is.
I agree. And with Cena and Truth getting a rematch, I don't know who Truth is, man. Truth got released. We got Ryan Killens now, son. They're gonna get a match.
Right.
And I would love to. You know what would pop me bigger than anything is if Ron Killens did win the WWE title, or the whatever they call it.
It's the Undisputed Championship right now, actually. It's the WWE Undisputed Championship, I think.
I would love to see Ron Killens win it. Nothing would make me happier than to see Ron Killens win it.
That would be
Steve
pretty cool.
O'Malley. Speaking of Steve O'Malley, he'll be on next week. So we're gonna have Steve O'Malley coming on here, and I'm gonna tell you something. This dude has no filter. So you're gonna be in for a very. If you think Howard Stern, Jerry Springer has anything on the Brilliant Show, next week will not. The Brilliant Show is its own thing. We're bigger than Howard Stern because Jerry Springer's dead. Let's see here, but he's still big. Randy Orton is going to be the guy to take it off, in my opinion. You think so? You think Randy Orton's going to be the guy? Now, look, I love Randy. I think Randy's one of the greatest of all time. His longevity's just been great, but I just don't know, man. I would love for it to be Randy. I would have no problem with it being Randy. I just don't think that's going to happen. I just don't think Randy's going to. Do you think he's going to be the guy?
I'm not too sure, honestly. I think he had his shot and he missed it. So, really, it's all up in the air on what's going to happen with the WWE Championship. But I am going to be watching because I always love to watch whatever type of wrestling I can. Always studying, always learning, and always trying to get better.
Well, exactly. I mean, that's what you got to do. Now, let's get back on track here because we get off the rails a lot. But remember, if you've not liked that video, hit that like button right now. Let's get it going. So, you're a champion at MCW, like Chris said.
That's right. That's right.
Show the belt again. Let's see the belt.
Oh, by all means, this is my beautiful and glorious MCW Universal Championship. You can get a nice eye for right there, kind of. The camera can capture it in all its beautiful glory. And yeah, it's the Magnolia Championship Wrestling Universal Championship, the title which I have defended, by the way, every single show that we have had for the entirety of that company's existence. I have been the champion, and everyone wants a piece. You can just look at the chat right here. You know, we've got wrestlers going back and forth. Everybody wants a taste of the Dragonheart, and if they want a taste of the gold, well, my door is always open. You can always meet me in the ring for it.
Stephen Dixon wants to know, do you defend it all over the universe?
I do, in fact, actually. That's right. Actually, you know, honestly, I kind of see it more as like I'm the champion of the universe, but like I don't really look into the title that much. There's just a lot of gold on there, quite a beautiful eagle and everything. So, yeah.
He wants to know you wrestle. I think the tournament is the 5th, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
so
I am going to
title,
be.
Right?
Yes, I'm going to be entering a tournament, actually, and I'm going to look to capture the AIWF Gulf Coast Championship, I believe it is what it's going to be called. So I'm actually looking to become a double champion in the tournament. He was on Mars last night.
I love O'Malley.
But yes, that's what I'm going to be doing July 5th for Red, White, and Bruised Magnolia Championship Wrestling in Pascagoula, Mississippi, as we usually are.
Silicon Dave. Hello, Brandon, our brilliant one, Brandon Turner, and Dragonheart, and YouTube chat. Thank you for hitting it. I hope you, Silicon Dave, I hope you're subscribed to us on YouTube and follow us over here on Facebook at Brandon Turner on Facebook, and you get a chance to win free merchandise over there as well. So let's talk about some of your title defenses. Since you,
by all means.
Let's start. Who was your first title defenser, or how did you win the title? Let's go to that. How did you win the title?
So how I won the title, I had to vacate my previous championship because a whole bunch of hullabaloo that I don't even know about.
I know about
it. Basically, yeah. I had to vacate my first title there for whatever reason, but so then they put me in contention for this title right here, and then Alex Gunn, the pasty white boy that he is, came out and decided that he would try and challenge me for it, with a tub of guts, thinking he could take down the Dragonheart. I put him to bed immediately. Well, not immediately. He tried to cheat. It was a bit tough, but I put him down and won this beautiful and glorious MCW championship, and I've defended it ever since then.
Awesome. Well, now, like, you talked about your previous championship. Now, I don't want you having to say anything on this, so I'm going to say it. Worms will ruin anything. Don't bring worms in. You leave them out. They're pests.
It's true. You can't trust them. You can't trust them.
Chop the heads off. But anyway, do they even have heads, or is it just one long thing? Just chop them in half.
I think they do, but it's like on one end or the other. It doesn't really matter.
No, you just chop them in the middle. You got it right either way.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, we're going to jump back into this. So the AWIF or AIWF Gulf Coast Championship tournament is coming up July the 5th. And you want to add some more gold to your repertoire.
That's right. See, I have my MCW Universal Championship, but I am always out on the voyage looking to add to the Dragon Sword. Leopold, Leopold hungers for the gold. What can I say? Leopold wants all the gold, and I want all the gold too, because one title in the Gulf Coast and in this area just isn't enough to show how great I can be and how great I am. If there are other champions around, that means that I want to be better than them. And I'm going to be entering the AIWF tournament in 2 weeks from now, July 5th. That is the date. And I think someone asked earlier who I'm going to be up against. I'm not sure exactly who I'm going to be matched up against, but I am certain that I'm going to cross paths with a certain Tony Donato, the freight train, who I've had numerous encounters with. That's right. Yeah. I think I saw him in the chat earlier. He's a hell of a worker, he's
popcorn.
What's up?
I said he was eating popcorn in the chat.
He was. Yes, and I'm more than certain actually that I'm going to be facing off against Tony Donato in the tournament. I'm not sure if the match card is out yet, but I'll tell you what, part of me wants to wrestle him after after wrestling, you take so many shots to the head you could forget, but I think it was the past couple nights ago at the last Combat show, after my match with Amp the Champ, Tony Donato actually jumped us both from behind like a coward and tried to take us down. So my eyes are definitely on him for the tournament July 5th.
Wait a minute. You just called Tony Donato a coward?
I sure did, yeah, because he jumped me and Amp the Champ. He laid us out, took the title, raised it over heads, and then dropped it. A complete disgrace. He's a great wrestler.
A good name of Tony Donato. I know Tony
You're
Donato
defending
well.
Tony Donato right now?
Hold on. I know Tony Donato very well. And when he came in that ring, he was facing you. I know that. He would not do that from behind. He's not that type of person.
Well, I don't think you know Tony Donato as well. I do it again too. Look, there is admittance right there in the chat. He may have not.
Here's what Tony's saying, and I think Tony will agree with me. You may have had your back turned. I think what happened was Amp turned around, spit in his face, and then he just attacked him, and you just became a casualty of war. I think that's what happened.
A casualty of war. Well, you know what? The Dragonheart, he does not accept being tossed to the side as mere collateral damage. So whatever the case was, whether there was spit thrown, whether it was an attack from behind, I have my eyes on the freight train for July 5th.
Well, look at that. And here's Tony. He was in my way.
He was in the way. See? Nothing Tony personal.
It's the Pringle Dingle.
I don't even know.
Famous last words.
Well, you know what, Tony Donato? You're good in the ring. You might not want to make things personal, but when it's in the ring and when it's with the Dragonheart, things are going to be a little bit personal between the two of us.
Now I get the Pringle Dingle. Hey, Daniel, how are you tonight? Or DJ, how are you tonight? But anyway, so jumping back, you talked about taking on Amp the Champ the other night. I'm sure that
That
was
I
a
did.
pretty good match. That was in Freeport.
Oh yes. Yes, it was in Freeport, Florida for Combat, and honestly, it was one of my better matches. I'm quite proud of it. Actually, I think we both did very good. We wanted to lay it all on the line, and I definitely laid it all out there. I gave it my all, and even though I didn't get the win, and I still have not become a double champion, I still gave it my best shot, even if I ended the night staring up at the lights. But when you're in the professional wrestling business, you have to be prepared for nights like that.
Oh, it happens. Yeah, you're not going to win every match. And just like now, you need to hit that like button on this video if you have not hit it yet, and check us out. And like I said, go support the podcast. For 99 cents a month, you can subscribe to The Brilliant Show right here, Brandon Turner on Facebook, 99 cents a month. And you're going to get a chance each and every month in a drawing to win free merchandise. And when I'm talking about free merchandise, we're talking about $25 to $30 worth of merchandise. So make sure you check it out. For $1 a month, that's less than $12 a year. So go check it out. Jesse, you've wrestled for Combat Sports for how many times? Do you like working with Combat Sports Pro?
I've worked with them for about maybe like 4 or 5 shows now, because there was for a month where we were doing like every week straight. And yes, I do. I enjoy the talent there. They've got a hell of a roster. The freight train's on there. We've got Ray Fury, the main champion. We've got El Kachi, who's also been training me. And it's just a great, great roster, great show put together. Lucha Lacora, one of the best workers on the Gulf Coast, is there. It is. I really enjoy working there. It's a different caliber of talent in that company, and I'm looking forward to continuing to make my mark there. And hopefully one day I get to hold some Combat Sport Pro Wrestling gold to go with and complement my MCW championship.
That's going to be awesome. And no, the slur is not kicked in just yet, Steve O'Malley. I got to get the IPAs out for that. That's coming up next. But here you go, DJ. Can you grab it? If you can grab it, it's yours. We'll have to. I'll tell you what. We'll have to get together soon and get one. But yeah, I hadn't started slurring yet. I'm gonna get the IPAs out and then I'll start slurring.
If you ask me, the best drink out there is Dragon's Milk. You can ask Leopold that as well. Dragon's Milk is the finest drink you can have. Yeah, it's a real drink, man. Yeah, Milk of the Dragon. It's really good. It's really good. Got to say, I might be a little bit biased, but that's my drink of choice.
He didn't mention me. I haven't got there yet. This is my greatest client. What do you think about Vladimir Koloff, my greatest client?
Vladimir Koloff, he is a good guy. I ran into him at Gulf Coast, the Mississippi Rumble. That's when I met him as well. And I also met that guy at one of the combat shows. Well, I didn't meet him, but I've seen him since then. And Vlad, the reason I didn't mention you is because when I saw you at Combat, you dropped my boy Ray Fury. Along with the Blackwater Mercenary, Nightmare Jeremiah. And ever since then, I don't know how I could feel about you, seeing you around after you laid out my main man like that, So, yeah. And if you think there's heat between us, I thought you said it was cold in Russia, man. So if you really want to experience some real heat, you can step in the ring with the Dragonheart. Of course you hate Ray Fury.
DJ here says Dragon Milk. Is it like titty milk?
No, it's actually how it's made is a bit of a secret, but it is an actual official drink sold by shops and stores that you can get. So yeah, and it does have alcohol.
Like the True Blood drink,
Yeah. You'd have to actually ask Ray Fury about that. He's a partaker of it.
So he likes titty milk. I always knew Ray.
Well, I wouldn't say that. Well, I'm not saying nothing. I'm not saying nothing there. You have to cannonball a dragon now. Hey, man. You know what? You are a formidable foe. You're a tough fighter. From Russia. I would love to take you on one-on-one.
Well, I'm gonna just say this. He's my greatest client. It's Vladimir Koloff, and I have taken one of those cannonballs, and they're not fun, man. I mean, like my
I
body
imagine
left my
not.
soul when I got hit with it.
I imagine not. And if we were to square off 1-on-1 in the ring, I'm sure it would be a great match, but I would make sure to avoid the cannonball.
Yeah, well, I don't know if there's much avoiding it now. So, guy heat with Vladimir, man, look at that. I can't believe that. Why would you want to piss off my client?
Hey man, I'm not trying to piss off anybody. I'm just trying to find the best foes to fight in the ring. That's what I'm always looking
This
for.
is great. Dragonheart is a good kid, bright future, terrible taste in mass for us mentors. And that is he avoids the cannonballs. No one avoids the cannonballs.
No one avoids the cannonballs, though. Well, you know what? To that, I just got to say thank you for the very kind words, Vladimir Koloff. As far as cannonballs and masked mentors are concerned, we may have a few disagreements there, but overall, you're a fine worker.
Yes, he is. He's one of the best. That's what it is. Steve, since you're slicking around here in the chats, what can we expect next week when you come on? Because I know it is not going to be pretty. Like we're gonna have some fun, I think. But so anyway, how long have you been wrestling? Like when was your first match? How did you have that?
I've been wrestling in total for about just under a year now. I started my training from ground zero, nothing, back in August of last year when I initially took the course to start training at Flatbacks. I finished that course about September of last year, and ever since then, I just hit the ground running, doing shows, making shows, wrestling matches, getting more reps in the ring, and I've just been going from there. I'm coming up on my first year, my rookie year as a professional wrestler will be coming up this August of this year.
Man, that is awesome. 1 year coming up in August, and August is my birthday. That's great. Steve
Really?
O'Malley,
That's awesome.
Steve O'Malley's a saint. You met Steve O'Malley too at the Mississippi Rumble, right? Or you saw him there?
I met Steve O'Malley actually a long time ago. He was one of the first wrestlers I met back. That's worth the pod. He was one of the first wrestlers I met back in Diamond Championship Wrestling when I used to go there. That's where I met him.
I'm glad you brought up that name. We'll get there. So you met Steve. Steve's a great guy. Me and him don't always see eye to eye because he's a little bit lower than me. But I like Steve. Steve's great. But what was your thoughts on meeting Steve and listening to him, because he's got a lot of good things. When he's got a good mind for the business as well.
Steve O'Malley, he's a good guy. I've talked to him. We've always exchanged pleasantries with each other. We haven't really crossed paths that much in the ring, but he's a cool guy.
Yeah, Steve is a cool guy. Oh, well, you brought up the topic I love talking about. It's one of my. I got to get my popcorn. I'm gonna have to get into an IPA too here, Steve. So there may be some slurring here. I'll just go ahead and warn you. Hit the like button down there. Now, DCW. Yeah, smile. Go ahead and smile. Tell me how you got to DCW.
Well, I came back from Orlando, Florida because I had saved up my money to take kind of a trip there. I stayed there for 2 months, got an Airbnb, spent pretty much all my money to try and learn wrestling, And if it didn't work out, I would just fall back into work in a normal job. So I came back. I felt pretty confident. They gave me an honest evaluation. They said they saw that I could have a future in wrestling. They said that I was a pretty good worker. And so I just went back home to Daphne, Alabama. And, say what you want about the state of Alabama. There's where I live, specifically around Mobile, there's not a lot of wrestling companies in the area. Well, around my local area. And I reached out to other companies. I reached out to a few. I'm not going to
places there either.
You know what? You're right. But I reached out to a few companies. I'm not going to pretend like I reached out to every single company because, again, fresh face, super green. I trained wrestling for 2 months, so I'm like absolutely completely new to the business. I reached out to a few companies. No one got back to me. It's probably because, I'm new to the business. I didn't really know how to reach out. I just tried to say, hey, this is me. I'm trying to look for some places to work. Didn't get anything back except from Diamond Championship Wrestling. They were like, hey, man, come on, we want to give you a shot. You can come train and see what's up.
Before you get any further, 2 questions. All right. Daniel or DJ has this say, do you know who my daddy is? Do you know who his daddy is?
No.
Oh, yes. You still didn't know who that is. He was a manager for the Undertaker.
Oh, Paul Bear?
Yeah. So anyway, all right. So DCW hits you up and says, "Hey, kid, they're the only ones that hit you back up." They said,
Yes,
"Hey, man,
yes.
come on in. We ain't gonna give you no money, but you can come on in and we'll let you get in the ring." Was that? Was that kind of what it sounded like?
Basically, how they were like, hey, you could come, we train with us, and we'd love to see what you got. So, I came in. They gave me my first match. I do have to give them props. They were the one place that actually wanted to give me a shot and actually allow me to wrestle in a ring in front of live people. And so I wrestled for them. I went to the training. It was definitely a bit jarring going from training with Sean Spears and Tyler Breeze to training there. But it was definitely interesting. I stayed there for a few months because, again, it was one of the only places that I wrestled. But eventually, the Dragonheart needed to fly. The Dragonheart needed to grow, and the Dragonheart needed to go other places. And so I started finding more shows, more places to shine, and places where, I would actually live up to my title of being a professional wrestler and getting paid. So I went off, moved on from performing at DCW, and ever since then I've been hitting other states, wrestling wherever I can be. So yeah, that's the Dragonheart, wrestling everywhere he can. But I did make my debut at DCW, and that's where I met Steve.
Well, here's the thing: you've got an opportunity. You got an opportunity to wrestle in front of friends and family, and receive an envelope with. Or did you receive an envelope?
No, I don't. In all of my time wrestling at DCW, I did not get paid a dime.
Not even a nickel?
Nope. No food, no nothing. But
Not even a hot dog? No handshake?
There was a handshake.
Okay. I was going to say you had to at least get that handshake.
There was a handshake. No hot dogs as advertised, unfortunately, but at least I was able to perform in front of fans and be able to kind of experience what it was like wrestling in front of a live crowd. It was a worthwhile
now, when
experience.
you said live crowd, now I'm talking about a real wrestling crowd, not like, friends and family, like people that are just in there for there. I'm talking about paid people, like tickets.
Yes.
Okay.
They do. They draw a crowd. They did draw a crowd. Many people. My family, they try to make shows whenever they can. I live in Daphne. I don't live in Theodore, so I didn't really know any of the people there. But yeah, I was able to perform in front of a live crowd. They gave me a shot. I will not disparage them for that. They gave me a chance to really wrestle and for me to say, hey, here's my work, here's my matches. I was able to take those matches where I wrestled in DCW, showed them to other people. They saw it. They realized what the Dragonheart was all about and how talented I really am. And then I was able to start wrestling other places. So, say what you want about DCW, but I'm not going to sit here and bash them because they gave me my start. Now, as for me staying there as long as I did, I think the Dragonheart should have spread his wings and flown away from there a bit quicker than I ended up doing, but it was a valuable learning experience. I'm happy for the memories I did make there, and now I'm happy with where I'm currently at in my career.
And that's good. I'm not wanting you to bash anybody.
Yeah.
I'm about facts. I'm about facts,
yeah,
baby.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
about
yeah.
facts. You know, people
I'm
say
laying,
you
I'm
talk.
laying I'm laying it all out there.
You know, people say you talk shit. Oh, you're talking shit about people. I'm not talking shit. Point out a lie I've made.
Oh yeah, no. Spread the truth, brother. I'm here for it.
I'm not talking shit. I'm not trying to talk shit. If that's what you take it as, then why don't you get some balls and talk to me? But
There it is, right there, ladies and gentlemen.
it's about the truth. If when I say it, oh wait, hold on, he's lying. No, the beer's lying. I'm telling the truth. But anyway, here's the thing. When I say something, I've experienced this. I'm not just making up rumors. Now, if I say it's a rumor, then it's a rumor. I mean, you know, but people, you know, say you're talking shit. Well, when you're talking truth, it's not shit. You're talking.
It's true. It's the truth. It's as Ron Killings would say, the truth shall set you free.
There you go. So Willie Buck had a question earlier, and I didn't get to it.
I'm so sorry I missed it.
He said you knew, or did you meet Kelly Clark there? Do you know who Kelly Clark is?
I met Kelly Clark at Combat, actually. I did end up seeing his stuff pop up on my feed. My family. Yes, my family is very lovely. I love my family. But yes, Kelly Clark, he'd pop up on all my feeds and everything. And I realized that he was actually trained from flatbacks as well, and I kind of respected his hustle. I respect his work ethic. I respect how he travels, how he lives. You know, I just respect the grind. And I ended up meeting him at Combat Sports Pro Wrestling. He's a great guy. Love Kelly Clark. Great talent, great worker. Love him.
Yeah, Kelly is great, man. And dude, he drove when I owned AWA, and he drove, and we had him booked for a show there. He drove, I think, 5 hours, no air conditioner in the middle of July. Transmission was out. He had to drive like 30 or 40 miles an hour to get there. And I'm just like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah, but it's an experience. Like he wears this stuff as a badge of honor, and I love it. I love the way that he, you know, puts it out there.
It's true. The only advice I would give to him is maybe he shouldn't try to kill himself too much trying to make these shows, but he shows commitment and dedication, and I respect that.
Yeah, he does. Well, I hope you can stay here and hit the subscribe button and watch this. This is, you know, we're talking independent wrestling. This is Jesse the Dragonheart right here. And if you want to follow us,
that's right. My name is Jesse the Dragonheart. So you can find me wrestling at all my social media handles, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook at Jesse the Dragonheart or Jesse Dragonheart. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jesse Dragonheart. And you can see me wrestling all up and down the Gulf Coast. Prominently right now, I wrestle at Magnolia Championship Wrestling and Combat Sports Pro Wrestling.
And speaking of that, how many promotions have you hit up over your 1 year here? Your first year?
I would have to
wrestle for?
I would have to look it up. I have it on my wrestling resume, but it's at least like 10 now, I believe. I've wrestled for, started out in DCW. I've wrestled for Slam Sports Entertainment. I've wrestled for Magnolia Championship Wrestling. I wrestled for a new company up in Georgia called Pro Wrestling Rebellion, I believe. I've wrestled for All Caribbean Wrestling, and where you could see me, I actually wrestled one of their stars, Leroy Jones, and that is on the ACW app and also on the Tempo Networks in the Bahamas. I've wrestled for Elijah Burke, the Pope Show, the Love Alive charity in Jacksonville, Florida. I've wrestled for Hard Time Pro Wrestling, I believe. That was in Baymonette, Alabama. And a few other places. I've wrestled for Bizarro World Pro Wrestling in Panama City, Florida. And I think that's all of them off the top of my head. I've wrestled in quite a few. I've been trying to wrestle as much as possible.
What's up, Chambers? All right, so Bizarro Pro, that's what I want to know, because I know Ray's been there, and they got some cool-looking posters and stuff. What was that event like? What was that show like?
That show was it was outdoors. It was very hot, very hot show, but it was a good show. It was fun. I got to wrestle with a lot of I got to wrestle with a lot of good talent there. I was in a 6-man scramble match. We had a banger. It was a great match, very hot, but the crowd was into it, or at least I tried my best to get them into it, and we put on a good match, and it was a fun time. Bizarro Pro Wrestling. It was a good time. Very hot though, very sweaty. But you got to get sweaty if you want to get the wins in this business.
Just got in, Chambers. Well, do you have a question? Because we've asked a few things, but if you got anything to ask, just put it in the chat. We're gonna pull it up here, and you can ask him anything. He's open to anything. I mean, he didn't get paid at DCW. He's already told us that. Which I mean,
That's true.
Yeah.
All answers. I'm ready for the hard-hitting questions.
I've only found one person that's admitted they got paid at DCW, and I still don't even know if I believe Hunter Hendricks at all. I really don't. I mean, I don't.
I've heard a myriad of stories from Diamond Championship Wrestling, but I can only say from my own personal experience.
No, that's what I want. I want facts. I don't want stories or lies. I just want the truth. And
It's true. You got to get the truth out there.
Well, Jesse, Chambers, we went over this, but just go ahead and give Chambers a refresher on who your inspiration was.
Of course, I can answer the question again.
Well, I know you did,
DJ. My biggest inspiration for getting into wrestling was one Rey Mysterio, his high-flying antics, just the presentation, lucha libre in general. I felt a connection to it as a half Latino. I loved that sort of stuff. I related to Rey Mysterio as well. CM Punk for the relatability, again, being from Chicago and seeing a guy outside the norms, that kind of alternative kind of style, seeing that and how people like that could be successful. And honestly, the thing that really tipped to the last straw that broke the camel's back, I guess, to get me into wrestling was watching Daniel Bryan's story unfold, seeing his journey and seeing him become a world champion, and not only WWE, but also AEW. It truly inspired me. And I believed if those guys, if my heroes in pro wrestling can do that, then I can do it too.
Oh, exactly. Leon, I wonder if he's got a new canvas yet. You're doing big things, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Leon. Thank you very much. That means a lot, my man. Hey, Morris and Crystal, how you doing tonight?
Crystal is a big supporter of the British show, and I appreciate her, and I hope you enjoy your merchandise. And make sure you send me a picture of when you get that hat and that shirt on. I want to check it out. So let's see here. Chambers, you're making waves, and I'm following you. Well, you're a follower, Chris, not a leader.
Thank you very much.
You're going to continue following people anyway. I'm just joking. Keep it up. But so was you a big video game guy? Like, did you get into video games?
Oh yeah, I'm huge into video games, man. I'm a gamer, all right. I used to play Skyrim, played World of Warcraft. I was actually a big WoW gamer. Still am, honestly. It's a great game. Love it so much. I've wrestled. I'm sorry. My mind is on wrestling all the time. How about Lucha Underground? Lucha Underground is underrated. It's absolutely fire. I love those matches. That's where I first found out about Penta. Zero Miedo actually was in Lucha Underground. And dude, it was great.
He was running the deal with Vampiro, the teacher-student deal. That was one of the best storylines. In it.
It's true. It's true.
All right, Chambers, we're going to get to your question in a minute. Just remember this, past or present, what's your dream opponent? But I want to know, you played Skyrim and those kind of games. Like playing Skyrim, she's seen you in, Crystal Morrison has seen you in MCW a few times.
I'm glad you have, and you should keep coming back to see me because Magnolia Championship Wrestling is where the Dragonheart is at his A game. And Skyrim, it's a great game. I played it when it first came out. They've released like 7 different versions of it now at this point, but it was a great game. It was one of the core childhood memories, which I grew up playing, killing dragons, being the Dragonborn. It definitely, I think, had a subconscious effect on my love of dragons and what I would eventually coin my in-ring name to be.
Yeah. All right, Steve, if you're still sticking around, I have hit the IPA, so the slurring will begin. So let's see here. Who would be your past or present dream opponent?
My past or present dream opponent, man, that is a very, very tough question. But if I had to say one, I think it would have to be.
That's my era, DJ too.
Let me think. I really want to think about this one. If I had to pick one, I'm gonna say Eddie Guerrero. I would have loved to mix it up with Eddie Guerrero because he's one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen. His promos were great. Oh yeah, the updated Oblivion remastered is really awesome. I haven't gotten the chance to get my hands on it just yet, but my friend has played it. He streamed it to me a few times, and it looks great. I would love to actually get to play an earlier Elder Scrolls game with remastered graphics.
So Eddie Guerrero, that would be a good dream opponent. When are you going to smack around Brimstone if you hadn't already?
I'll smack around Brimstone whenever he shows his face in a ring again when I'm around.
Raza, you know what? I'm gonna have to get with Raza. We gotta get Raza on the show, but Raza Raleigh, and you would have a good match. Raza's got a great look. He's got a bright future as well, and I can't wait to get him on the show.
Raza Raleigh, yes. I've actually ended up squaring off against Raza Raleigh once. We wrestled in a fatal 4-way elimination match at Combat Sport Pro Wrestling. It was a very fun game.
The game
match. So.
Oh, damn!
I have played quite a few games that are older than me, actually. So that's not anything I'm unused to.
Oh man. Holly Grove. Holly Grove.
But yes, my dream opponent would most definitely be Eddie Guerrero. Just, I believe, to be able to learn from him and be able to wrestle with him, it would be a great, great opportunity, and I think just a dream come true to be able to wrestle Latino Heat himself.
Now I went back and watched. I'm gonna go ahead and say this because we're around the anniversary of this. But I watched One Night Stand 2005, and I just watched Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit have a match. And my feelings for Chris Benoit are,
It's tough. It's tough, It's hard to separate, the man from his in-ring work because he was a very, very great wrestler. It's just a shame kind of how his whole life ended.
Yeah, it was. But, I mean, my thoughts with him is he should be damned for what he did, but he was one of the best to do it.
Art from the artist. I think that's the term that we have coined now for these situations like that. Jesse Dragonheart versus Hunter Hendricks. Hey, man, the Dragonheart is open to taking any and all challengers. Anyone who thinks they can go in the ring with me, I would love to prove myself to them and to the fans to put on a great show and wrestle a great match. The Dragonheart is always ready, any place, anywhere, anytime, to step foot in the squared circle and put on a banger.
That's Cody Blade, who is the new ring announcer for Crusade Pro. So check that out. Now, Chris Chambers,
he's a great guy.
Yeah. Well, Chris Chambers, very well this man does not know what an NES is. But is it?
No, I've heard of an NES. I'm not that young. I'm not that young to not know what an NES is. And the PS5. Well, that's a very big jump in time periods. I don't even have a PS5 though. I still have a PS4. I'm more of a PC Master Race type of gamer.
Let's see, Jesse the Dragonheart. Do you like playing any wrestling games there?
Oh yeah, man. I used to play as a kid. SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain. That was one of my favorite wrestling games I grew up playing. Well, that was a really great one. I also ended up playing. Listen, guys, I grew up in the time of the dark era of pro wrestling, from 2012 to 2018 is when I was really growing up and watching wrestling. So I played most of the 2K video games growing up as a wrestler. The oldest one I played, the most OG one, is SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain.
All right, so let's see here. Jesse Dragonheart versus Zane BTY Stevens, who was
the
British Show Spotlight today. He was the Brilliant Show spotlight today. I like Zane. Zane's great. He makes everything
Zane
look
BTY
so
Stevens is
real and
awesome.
brutal. He really is. He's a great guy too. He's great. Such a cool. He is. He's a cool guy, but he makes everything he looks in the ring just look absolutely great. It looks so brutal the way he does it. He's great at what he does. Dave, what's up? I know y'all miss me at Wrestle Kingdom. What the hell? Or WK, whatever WK is. I say Wrestle Kingdom. I think that would be a good match. I think we can make that happen. Sure, we can,
I would love to
Leon.
wrestle against Zane BTY Stevens. I actually have learned a lot from him. He's given me a lot of. Oh, hey man, I didn't think any. I didn't think any different.
Jesse
Man,
and
then we've got a
Murdo.
lot of matches. They're putting me up. Murdo Brown. I think I could take down Murdo Brown.
Oh,
I think I
now,
could.
that's one of my former clients. Don't talk bad about Murdo. Just if you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all.
Hey,
I
I'm
don't want
not
to talk
talking
about
bad about him.
right
I'm
now.
just saying I think I could put him down in the ring for the 1, 2, 3.
Today was depressing. Oh, sorry, Davey. Or Dave. I'm a 8-bit all the way. So you're going all the way back to the NES. No Super Nintendo, the 16-bit. Okay. You have to remember Chambers is 125 years old. 125? No, that's young. Go 250. Go 250. He's 250 years old. No Mercy on 64, the greatest wrestling game that ever existed, ever will exist. I don't care what game comes out. No Mercy on the Nintendo 64 will be the greatest game ever. WrestleMania 2000 on the N64 is the second greatest game. Here Comes the Pain is the third greatest game. That's the top 3 wrestling games of all time. And I had to throw WWF Raw on the Super Nintendo and Royal Rumble on the Super Nintendo in there just for good sake. After that, nothing but shit. We're young, not uncultured. There you go. That's a good one.
There
All
you go,
right.
Cody Blade. That's what it's all about.
I'm good now. Good, Silicon Dave. I want to find out what WK is, so you have to hit me up on that one. Zane is awesome. Yes, he is.
Yeah, getting back to the whole Zane BTY thing, I actually have trained with him a few times and worked with him. He is very, very good in the ring, and I would love to have a match against Zane BTY Stevens.
Yeah, Zane would be good. I like this from Jamie. Now, me and Jamie are the same age. We went to school together, or around the same age. Jesse Billy Kidman would have been a good one. Yes, him and Billy Kidman would have been good one. I was a big Billy Kidman fan when he first came into WCW and he was scratching himself. He had the brown, Raven shirt on or whatever, and he came out and then he started wearing the wife beater with the shorts. That was good
Yeah.
time.
I would have loved to have wrestled Billy Kidman. As for taking the shooting star, I would have preferred to avoid it because he usually put everyone down with that move that he hit with it.
Yeah, Royal Rumble was the game, DJ. I'll say that. I loved Royal Rumble. I remember spending hours playing that and WWF Super WrestleMania on the Super Nintendo. Those were my 2 favorites on the Super Nintendo. Let's see. Kidman with the 7-year itch. Kidman ain't coming back. I used to love, oh, yeah. Kidman doing the shooting star press back in the day, man, that was great. And
The
then
fact
Brock
he did it with
Lesnar.
Spring Boy was crazy.
Yes. And then Brock Lesnar doing this, the shooting star at WrestleMania 19, almost killing himself.
He
God,
used
if
to
he
be
hadn't
able to
had the
land
neck
it.
of a horse, he could have landed it. The thing was, Kurt Angle was so far away that he had to
He
reach
was
for him.
really far away.
So when he did it, it wasn't like he, because I know he could have done it right there. He wanted to do it. He didn't have to do it. He didn't need to do it. He was a power guy. He was a big guy. Look at Brock Lesnar. Does he have to do a shooting star press? Hell no. I mean, he's impressive by the way he looks. He looks legitimately, like a damn fighter. So let's see here.
It's true. He is a fighter.
Brock is second best. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he's first best on the shooting star press, but I'm just saying Brock Lesnar didn't have to do it. He didn't need to do the shooting star press. That was hurting him. I mean, he's just doing an impressive move that, okay, it was impressive, but it didn't gain nothing for it. He was a physical specimen himself. You didn't have to have the shooting star press. So, so Jesse, like you said, you've only been in a year. Have you had fun in a year?
Oh, yes, I've made some of the best memories of my entire life. Getting into professional wrestling, I've made so many wonderful friends, made a few enemies, pissed a few people off, but I've been able to entertain. The fact I've been able to entertain so many people and so many fans and inspire people. I've had people message me saying I've inspired them and motivated them. Wrestling has completely changed my life. Getting in the gym and working out, I'll tell you what, a lot of pro wrestlers don't actually do that on this level that I'm at right now, but being able to work out and just get into the best shape of my life, be able to hone my craft and be able to work towards something meaningful, which is building my career to one day be able to wrestle for some of the biggest promotions in the world. It's amazing. I feel like I've really found my passion, being able to travel the world. Now, don't get me wrong, there's been its fair share of grief and strife and pain. This business has a way of wearing you down, and it will try and fight you and kick you and keep you down, but it also is very giving. Wrestling doesn't owe anyone anything, but it has so much that it can give you if you want to do it, because that's the whole reason we do all of this. I'm a wrestler because I want to wrestle and that I love professional wrestling. That's what it is at the core of it all. And if I can do it for a living and I'm blessed to be able to do this for as long as I can to the best of my ability, then hey man, that's all I want. And so if I could continue to wrestle and continue to grow and to continue to have the year that I've had this year in future years, well, I think I'm going to have a pretty good life. Knock
Oh,
on
yeah,
wood.
no doubt. Brock Lesnar's daughter needs to be a wrestler. Brock Lesnar's daughter is Casper the Friendly Ghost. Like, you can't even see her. I saw her out there doing the shock put, and she was whiter than me. Like, I mean, she was powder white. Hell no. She was past powder white. And I just feel bad for that girl because she ain't ever getting laid. She is not. It's not going to happen. I don't even know if I don't know how drunk you have to get there. But anyway, that's enough on that. Tommy Hillard had a better shooting star press. I'm just saying on the major level, Kidman had it. Kidman was doing the shooting star press. Let's see here. Jesse, which style is better, high flying, technical, or brawling? I don't know how Chris Chandler's
That's a
putting
toss
all
up.
them lists.
To me, I see all different styles of wrestling as like different flavors of pie or different flavors of cake. Some people might prefer to see brawling in a fight. Other people might want to see the technical stuff, and other people might want to see the high flying spectacle. I think I prefer to do a blend of all of those and be the best that I can be in everyone. Honestly, it just depends on the execution. A sloppy fight isn't going to look nearly as good as a beautifully done moonsault. Same on the other hand as like a great brawl is going to outshine a little bit of technical grappling. So if I had to pick my personal favorite taste, it's got to be high flying. I love the energy. I love the action packed. I love the high risk, high reward feelings, and I just love the impact. I'm very much an adrenaline junkie, and that's my style of wrestling. But I can still appreciate a good fight, and who doesn't love seeing some technical wrestling every now and then, showing the masterfulness of the craft, because there really is an art form to wrestling.
Well, I'm gonna get to Cody Blade's question here in just a second. I don't know if he's talking to me or you, but we'll both answer it. But before we get to that, the Indiana Pacers are up 48-47 in the NBA Finals right now. The winner is winning the championship. That's it. It's going to be the Thunder or the Pacers. There's just one bad thing. Tyrese Halliburton is now out with an Achilles injury, so he's done. So Thunder will be winning the NBA championship tonight. So let's get to this. Cody Blade, while on the topic, thoughts on Brian Cage, although a lot of high flies, flashy moves. With, let me just say this: when I saw Brian, I'll go first, Jesse, and I'll let you speak on this. Brian Cage in Lucha Underground was special. That was a different deal. I enjoyed seeing him in Lucha Underground. I had not really enjoyed seeing him in AEW. I don't know what it is. It's just not there in AEW. What's your thoughts?
Honestly, I like Brian Cage. I saw him in Lucha Underground. He does great. But as far as it comes to him wrestling in AEW, at first I wasn't very entertained by him. But in his past few matches, I actually quite enjoy his style of wrestling. I think he's very sharp in the ring. He's got a great look. And while big men don't necessarily need to move like that and do high flying moves, the fact he can, I believe, just shows how very athletic and truly talented he is. I think the last real match I sat down and watched of Brian Cage's was him versus Swerve Strickland, and that was a hell of a match, man. That was a great match.
Oh, I mean, he can still have great matches. I feel that, she's not translucent. She's transparent. Let's see here. I would take on Brock's daughter in a one-on-one. I bet you would. And you wouldn't come out on the good end either way. I'll just go ahead and say this. It doesn't matter if you're in a match with her and she beats you, or if you're in bed with her and she beats you. You're not winning. Let's see. Execution is key. But my thing, Cage, execution, timing, that's all great things you have to be on for. But Brian Cage, to me, I don't know if it's he lost a notch in AEW or he just didn't get that opportunity in AEW. He just kind of got pigeonholed over here and over there kind of deal. I just don't know. Let's see. Stay on the mat. You will regret it later on in your career. Exactly. You don't need to do the shooting star presses and stuff. Like Jesse here, he can do that stuff. But Brock, no. Pacers all the way. Pacers ain't winning shit, Brian. I thought Brian was a good guy, but apparently not. That DCW money's getting to him. Like, he's hitting Scott Armstrong down the back saying they're on doing TV. See, everybody's delusional over there. We're doing live TV. Ain't nothing live about that. See, Brian, they got delusional. Pacers are done. You can tell me that the Pacers can beat the Thunder without Halliburton. I'm surprised they're beating them with Halliburton. So, I mean, there's no way they're going to beat him without him. So he's delusional. Game 7, it's over. This is Game 7. There ain't no more games after this. This is it. We're talking about damn basketball on a wrestling podcast. I haven't watched basketball since Jordan retired the first time. So you hadn't watched the NBA since 95. Because he retired in 94, wasn't it? Let me see. The first time, yeah. David's Figures. Hello. Hey, David's Figures. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Cream of the crop. Oh, yeah.
Macho Man Randy Savage. That's one of the best promos of all time. Is the cream rises to the top. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Savage was great.
It's one of the best of all times. One of my dad's personal favorites.
What's that? Lucha Underground? Or Macho Man?
Oh, Macho Man.
Macho Man he was great. Hello, fellow David. Oh my gosh. All these Davids. Great work in Lucha Underground. Yes. Oh, he was great. I wish Lucha Underground was still around. Yeah, in about 2 or 3 weeks, you're gonna be he showed his age. Yeah. In 2 or 3 weeks, you're gonna be wishing DCW still around. But anyway, hit that like button on this video and show support for the podcast. Like I said, we're giving away free merch each and every month. If you subscribe to us for 99 cents a month, less than $12 a year, you're going to get a chance twice a month to receive free merch. We're giving away free merch on June 30th, right here on The Brilliant Show. But make sure you hit that like button. Go check us out for 99 cents. How can you not spare less than $12 a year to win no telling how much on free merch? I mean, tell them, Jesse, the Dragonheart, it's worth it.
100%. Without a doubt.
So you brought up, let me see here. I got some comments coming in. Yeah, I mean, you got somebody in the back eating bread pudding, talking about I got something for him. Thank you, DJ. Thank you. Yeah, the thing is, here's the problem. And Brian, I'll just say this: you did your acting part. The others, well, they're not winning no Golden Globes. It's 99 cents. Go do it. There you go, Jamie, baby. There you go, Jamie. I like it. But my thing is this: like, man, I had a brain fart. Where are we at? See, the slurring is sticking in. I bet Steve O'Malley ain't nowhere to be found. Where we at here? I know I was plugging something, and then I'm back on track. Oh, I was talking about Brian, the bread pudding. Look, y'all sit there and pride yourselves on doing live television that airs at 2 a.m. in the morning. And you have to pay for it to be on TV. Oh, I don't even know if it's on TV anymore. They uploading it to YouTube. And you know, there's nothing wrong with places like OVW. But they ain't being seen by no damn body. Oh, they hit more than like a Mack truck, Steve O'Malley. They are. I'm glad you're still here, though. You can see the downfall as I go down. Spend the 99 cents and buy merch. There you go, Cody Blade. You need to be my spokesperson. YouTube, no, on Facebook. I don't know what. But anyway, here, oh, they are on YouTube. That's what he said. They're on YouTube. Okay, well, then they're not on television. And I mean, honestly, local television, what is it anymore? It's not like it was in the 90s. Nobody watches television. Everybody watches apps. You would be better off being on the Roku channel than you would be on your local television station. It doesn't work.
It's true. I got to agree with that.
I mean, that's all it is to it. I mean, more views will get on YouTube than you will on your local television station. Because if you're not the news, they don't give a shit. And I don't watch the news, so it's too depressing. But Steve O'Malley does. I know you're lurking. You're always lurking, just like the non-followers. I got a lot of non-followers that lurk. I got worms that lurk. Pluto TV is a better than local. It is. Pluto TV, I watch it too. I watch anything that's free there. NWA is on Roku. Well, damn, WWE is on, what is it? Tubi. I watch Tubi all the time. I mean, you got to watch the damn ads, but Tubi's great. What's your
yeah, the ads will get you wherever you go.
Yeah. So let's dive into something else here real quick, because we're going to start wrapping up here in a minute. How old are you again, Jesse?
I am 22 years old. I'll be 23 next month.
I don't even subscribe to cable TV, so it would have to stream for me. Exactly. Well, here's the thing.
Most days we are living in an age of internet and streaming services now, and that's where you want to be. That's where all the views are going to be. That's where the eyes are going to be, and that is where the Dragonheart is going to be. Somewhere on your screen where you are going to watch.
Well, here's the thing, and Jamie knows this because we watched back in the day. We watched the Monday Night Wars on TV. We were all, in on USA Network on TNT. And dude, now you're paying $200 for it, like Xfinity or cable, whatever cable you get, Cox or whatever it is. And you're paying $200 for that, and you're getting like nothing. Like you're getting absolutely nothing. You can subscribe to like Netflix, Peacock or whatever other streaming services, and you can watch whatever the hell you want to when you want to for cheaper. You can subscribe to every damn one of them, HBO Max included, all of them, and it would still be cheaper than a cable bill. And you watch whatever you want, whatever the hell you want to. My grandparents, the last generation, still buying cable. Only uses the cable for the news and weather. Exactly. And you can watch weather on Facebook Live now. So why do you even need cable? And here's another thing, like with that situation, is like, who even watches local news now? It's so depressing, like, especially here it is. Jamie, you don't want to live in Meridian no more, buddy. Cox internet is blocked. Well, yeah, I'm sure it is. But we don't worry about Cox chambers. I don't know what you like about them. I had to watch it if I wanted to submit that. Well, yes, but DJ, that was back in the day when that was the only way to see them. Now there's so many ways and so many opportunities to see them. Leopold is back. Leopold, I need to get a question out of you, man. Why don't you tell me?
He's open to him.
Why are you with? Yes, he does, O'Malley. Why are you with Jesse the Dragonheart?
He told me it's because I have a fire and a passion like anyone else in the ring, and he has wanted to support me in everything I do.
Is that true, Leopold? Or has he putting words in your mouth? It's true. I like Jesse.
That's exactly right.
All right, we're about to start. We're going to start wrapping up. So if you got any questions for Jesse, now's the time to get them, because I got something to say too after we get done with this.
By all means.
Uh-oh. All right, so here's the thing. I spent $70 at that water park. Would you go to a water park for $70 and not swim or do a ride?
No, I can't say I would.
I'm not going to do it ever again. I can promise you that right now.
That's fair enough.
Jamie, yesterday while I was in Gulf Shores, I get a notification. You talk about Meridian. There was a murder at the Burger King on Frontage Road. Dude pulls up and shoots him on the Burger King on Frontage Road. All right, Jesse, what is your Mount Rushmore of cruiserweights?
Oh, my bad. My camera fell over. That is a tough question, my man. How many do you get for a Mount Rushmore? How many heads are on there? Like 4 or 5?
4.
4. All right. If I had to put a Mount Rushmore of cruiserweights, 1, it's gotta be Rey Mysterio. 2, let me think here. 2, I'm gonna put Spike Dudley for the extremism, just like everything, the crazy bumps he took back in ECW, the Dudley Boys. I just absolutely love Spike Dudley. He's a personal favorite of mine. If I had to do 3, let me think here. Juventud Guerrera. I absolutely love Juventud Guerrera. He's got the hair, the look. Everyone talks a lot about Rey Mysterio Jr., but Juventud Guerrera is one of the greatest luchadors of all time as well. He's absolutely the best out there. So we've got Rey Mysterio, Spike, Juventud, and man, it's hard because I don't really know all of the guys' exact weights, so I'm not sure exactly who counts as a cruiserweight all the time. But if I had to put one more cruiserweight, let me think about this. You know what? For my fourth and final cruiserweight, I'm going to go. We mentioned him earlier. I'm going to put Billy Kidman because that springboard shooting star press, he was the first guy I ever saw to ever do a shooting star press. And, just back in the day, he was a great wrestler. I loved watching Billy Kidman. So we got Rey Mysterio, we got Spike Dudley. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. All those insane bumps and everything. I think I mentioned Juventud Guerrera, and the fourth one was Billy Kidman.
Rey Mysterio, Psychosis, Super Crazy, and El Dandy. Let me just go ahead and say this. See, this right here, watching Chris Chambers just name those guys. You know what that tells me? That is a mark right there that's only seen television wrestling. But anyway, I'm just joking, Chambers. Talking about Spike Dudley. Dude, like he took so many insane bumps in ECW, but people forget about the insane bumps he took in WWE. I think he took more dangerous bumps in WWE than he ever did in ECW. And people just don't know that.
The man was just known for taking horrible, crazy bumps.
Well, he even said in a documentary he loves taking those bumps. He loves taking bumps. I want to say it was like Beyond the Ring or whatever. But
Dark Side of the Ring, maybe?
No, not Dark Side. Beyond the Ring, or what was the damn? Was that it? Back in '99?
Beyond the Ring?
Yeah. Or
sounds about right.
Yeah, it was with Mick Foley, Jake Roberts, and all them. Yeah, DJ. Wait, hold on. Who are you to doubt El Dandy? I don't doubt El Dandy. You do. By naming him. That's what you did. But anyway, in that he was saying, like, I love taking bumps. He was a high school teacher. He teaches like Shakespeare and stuff. And he's out here rather take a bump being thrown into the front row or hitting concrete instead of teaching a class, which I would have too. But I mean, I'm just saying, safer teaching class than going to take a bump. What's Leopold's chances against L.A. Esker?
The iguana, Mr. Iguana Lavesca or whatever his name was. I've got to give it to Leopold because even though Lavesca was a iguana, Leopold is a dragon. He can fly. He's got the fangs. He's got the claws, and he is a mythical beast. So that's Leopold all day.
Beyond the Mat. That's it. Beyond the Mat. That was a good one. I watched that 1,000 times. We're all marks. Here's the thing, Chambers. We are all marks, but eventually we grow up. Beyond, yes. I loved Mick Foley as Cactus Jack. I love
one of his many faces.
Yeah, it was in Meridian. It was 95. He signed a orange mask for me. And then I think it was 3 months later, so he was in WWE as Mankind. That was when he first came in as Mankind.
That's awesome.
Bret Hart endorsed El Dandy. Bret Hart endorsed a lot of things. I mean, do you know how many concussions that man has? He has endorsed a lot of things he don't know about. Beyond the Mat was one of the best. It was one of the best, but it was also one of the saddest. Yeah, we do. I mean, eventually you got to grow up. Wait, Worms is a mark. I don't know if they can find the mark. They sure can't find a woman, that's for sure. Or teeth. So, all right, we're getting ready to wrap up because I gotta, clip this out because Jesse the Dragonheart. Have you enjoyed being on the British show?
Oh yes, it's been a great time. Thank you for having me on.
Awesome. Well, let me ask you this: am I an asshole?
At the time I've known you, I can't say you are.
You should say I am because I wear that as a badge of honor.
Oh, okay, all right, very well then.
Brian, Chris Jericho, Dean Malenko, Ultimo, Nunzio, my piece. Oh my God. What? Brian, are you doing meth? Nunzio? At least say Little Guido. Don't say Nunzio. The hell are you doing over there? Nunzio.
Those are some pretty good picks. Ultimo Dragon is really
but
awesome.
Nunzio is not a damn cruiserweight Mount Rushmore. Little Guido, yes. Nunzio. Man, get that Nunzio shit out of here. Mankind was a babysitter when I was younger. Yep. Keep doing what you're doing, Jesse. What about me, Chambers?
Thank you very much.
It being brilliant makes you an asshole, then I'm an Albert Einstein. Well, you may be. I mean, it don't take much to be Albert Einstein now. His work in Japan was good. Nunzio. I'm talking, we need to do Little Guido. Don't ever say Nunzio. That sounds like a redneck name. Yes, you're an asshole. Thank you, Steve. Thank you. And next week, assholes are going to collide when me and Steve O'Malley are on here. Little Guido. There you go, Chambers. There you go. An asshole doesn't describe it. Oh, I love it. All right, we're fixing to get ready to start wrapping up, but hold on.
All right, well, I could answer one more question.
Yeah, put another question out there. Of course, Brandon, you're an asshole. I know. I mean, that's what I pride myself on. I got a question for Jesse, though. Where you at next? Where you at next?
All right, so where I'm at next, you can find me at Magnolia Championship Wrestling in Pascagoula, Mississippi for Red, White, and Bruised. I'll also be wrestling July 19th again for MCW, and I believe I will be wrestling in August for Combat Sports Pro Wrestling. That's where you can find me. I'm usually all up and down the Gulf Coast. Sometimes I wrestle in Florida. I'll be keeping it updated. You can see the updates to where I am at and who I am going to be wrestling and just what I'm doing in general at Jesse Dragonheart on Instagram, Jesse the Dragonheart at TikTok, and Jesse Dragonheart on Facebook. And you can also look up my channel, Jesse the Dragonheart, on YouTube.
All right, so we're about to close out. I want to get to it. Why don't you start plugging your social media? The floor is yours. I'm just messing with you. See, they thought I was too drunk.
Yeah. I just did that, so you know.
I had to do it. I had to be that way. All right, so hold on.
Of course.
Since we've been talking about the shooting star, I need you to surprise us with it at the MCW. Look, hold on. Before you say anything, Jesse, look, I've been in that building many times. Don't try no shooting star pressing there and break your neck in the Pascagoula VFW. Please do not.
Don't you worry. Anything I do, I will make sure that I can do safely.
There you go. But thank you for joining us, man. If you'll hang in there just 1 second, don't go nowhere just yet. We're going to close the show out. Jesse,
thank you for having me.
Oh, as always, hold on.
It was a pleasure.
See you. The ceiling at the VFW, thank you, Jesse. The ceiling at the VFW is lower than what people get paid at DCW. But thank you for joining us right here tonight on the Breeding Show. Jesse the Dragonheart got a bright future ahead of him. Can't wait to see him a lot more. And if you can't watch us live or listen to us live, remember, you can check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, and Audible. Give us that 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And also, don't forget, we got new merch. We got the Breeding Show off the rails. Go to Brainbuster Tees. Hit it up. Make sure you hit that like button right here on the video. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night because tomorrow night's going to be very hostile. It's going to be one off the charts. I hadn't talked to this guy since everything went down, since he grew a pussy. But he's coming on here tomorrow night. We got Matty Ice, and we're going to lay it down big time on that furry kitty. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Tomorrow night's going to be hostile, and we'll see Matty Ice tomorrow night right here on The Breeding Show. Y'all have a good night. And
the champ of the mic owns the night. With a mind so slick and a suit so clean, he's running this ring like a wrestling machine. From gold-plated deals to jaw-dropping schemes, he's the mastermind of your wildest dreams. Stand up, take note, bow down if you can. It's the Brilliant Show with the Brilliant